All right, still talking.com podcast, episode 26. Hey Todd, how you doing?
Doing great, Rob. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing real good today, man. I was feeling a little under the weather yesterday, but today I'm feeling real good. Ready for the weekend.
Absolutely. That'll definitely boost your spirits.
Yeah, man. What you think about this Deshaun Watson injury, man? His shoulder. That surprised me. I thought if anything it was going to be his ankle.
Absolutely.
Right.
That was the obvious thing from the outside. Anybody that was watching that game, that's all you saw. There was nothing in his actual performance in the second half that would even suggest that there's anything wrong with his shoulder. I mean, kudos to him. I don't know the details of that bone and where it's at and how it affects your rotator cuff and the general motion of throwing the ball. But if it's as serious as it seems like they're suggesting, he's one tough son of a gun. Because if I'm not mistaken, he was 14 of 14 in the second half.
He was. That was a hell of a comeback.
It was. I mean, I can't say anything derogatory about Cleveland. I mean, they did what they had to do. Anytime you can go in and win in Baltimore, you shouldn't have to apologize for anything.
No, that was in Baltimore too.
Yeah,
man, that was a good win for them. They were feeling good. Cleveland Browns were thinking they had a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Well,
then the luck of the Brown came up.
Well, all of that, Rob, is probably true, but as we've discussed over the years when we've been watching the game or just talking after the fact, you basically can never say never. Just because this happened doesn't mean the Cleveland Browns can't make the playoffs.
Right.
Now, I would say it pretty much kills Super Bowl chances, but you never know. Maybe a guy like a DTR has an epiphany and just gets it and uses his athleticism, which I think DTR is almost as athletic as Deshaun is. Definitely's got better lateral movement than Deshaun. I mean, he's a younger guy.
A younger guy,
You never know, man. Or PJ Walker's got to come in because DTR. I mean, you just don't ever know. I'm not putting all my eggs in the we don't have to worry about Cleveland basket like we're talking about maybe bearing Cincy here in the next couple of weeks if the Burrow situation goes the other way. But yeah, I'm not counting on anything other than, again, as we've discussed before, the Steelers need to be singularly focused on what they can control and what they can do. And that's winning the game that's in front of them.
Yeah. It's still AFC North football.
Yeah.
Divisional game. Cleveland is kind of built up like us. So it's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be low scoring. And the thing is, can this coach, can they eke out wins like we do when you down a quarterback, when you down your franchise guy? So that's going to be interesting to see. DTR, where he came from, UCLA? Yeah, we're going to see what he about. It was amazing to me that he jumped PJ Walker from number 3 to start. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. That surprised me. It's almost like they just basically discounted everything that PJ Walker did leading up to this time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if PJ Walker hadn't have been there and they had to stick DTR in there right away, are they gonna come back and beat San Francisco? Are they gonna come back and beat Indianapolis? I mean, yeah, it's possible, but probably not.
Yeah.
So, I guess every once in a while, Rob, you'll find a team or you'll find a coaching philosophy that will eschew experience for youth.
Right.
And that seems to be what they're doing in this case.
Well, they might want to get a look at him and see what he can do.
Well, of course. I mean, because they drafted him. I mean, they definitely want to see what he can do. And there is no better lab to find out what a guy can do than real game action in the regular season. So I get that, but at least for this first game out the gate, I would have gone with PJ Walker and give this guy a chance to see if we can't keep that momentum going. If for some reason you can't, then put in DTR, take the pressure off of him a little bit, and get him in there. But hey, you know what? Those guys, that coaching staff, they know him better than we do. So we're just going to stand back and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Deshaun, man. He looked like the game was slowing back down for him from being out of football for so long. And that looked like an epiphany game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it did.
Okay, it's coming back. And then to have that injury and have to sit out the rest of the year, God, it's just like, and then, I ain't going to cry too much for the Browns.
I understand.
But you look at the money he making and the money going to make in the next 3 years, north of 60-something million a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I like them kind of checks, Todd. Can you write me one?
I tell you what, Rob, if I thought I could do that and not go to jail, I would do it.
Yeah. You think the bank will stop it?
I tell you what, man, I say knowing, I don't know, but what we've heard over the years of the Browns ownership, because they used to be minority owners in the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting tree, Rob. That would be for another show. If you look now at how many ex-minority Steeler owners now own their own NFL team.
Yeah, and usually they're having problems. Look at Carolina.
Yeah.
And he out in the media talking.
Oh, yeah.
You think they learned something from the Rooneys?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think they look at the Rooney and say, man, that's the old man sitting on the porch. We do things different now.
And there is some truth to that, Rob.
Yeah.
The Rooney or the Steelers approach, the payoff normally takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
A guy like Tepper in Carolina, you can just tell if you look at his business background in general, this is the guy who's all about as close to instantaneous results as you can get.
Yeah, he a hedge fund guy.
Yeah.
Hey, buy it. Let's see what happens. Yep. All right, let's move on to injury reports. Minka didn't practice yesterday. This is as of Thursday. We have to check it this today. I don't think Minka's going to go. If he didn't practice yesterday.
Correct.
I don't think he's going to go for this week. Plus, I think they might hold him out. This guy, now if Deshaun Watson was playing, they might try to put him out there to get this game. But now that Deshaun is out, I think Minka's going to sit back this game.
Well, again, Rod, this reminds me of the Steelers maybe compared to other teams. And maybe it's got more to do with the player. I'm really not sure. But I think the Steelers are taking, as of right now, with the scenarios, the standings currently are, the Steelers are taking an ultra-conservative approach to bringing back top-notch guys off of injury.
Yeah.
They took their time with Freiermuth.
Right.
I think they're going to take their time with Fitzpatrick. And if they can squeeze another week of rest for these guys, I think in general that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think they might they might let them sit out the Bengals game. Figuring, okay, we want I know what they're doing. We want to be as fresh as and injury free as we can coming into the season.
Right.
That last month. Because we're going to need it.
Yeah, I mean, what's the use in making the playoffs and then you get there, and you're down to TJ Watt or a Minka Fitzpatrick,
right,
or whoever else you want, whoever else you want to pick, Pat Pete, right. Whoever it might be. We know they know the team obviously as it's currently construed. They know where the weaknesses are. They know where they can massage a few things and still make it work. And I'm sure that's what the coaching staff's been working on these last few weeks, especially since Minka got hurt, is, okay, what can we do to fill this vacuum as best as possible on the field? Obviously, off the field and leadership and things of that nature, it's kind of hard to compensate for that. But at least Minka's there on the sideline, as we saw with last week's game. So he's at least close by. He may not be on the field, but he's there with the guys on the sideline, motivating them, giving them pointers. So I'm glad that at least it's not so bad that he needs to be off in a rehab facility somewhere. He can still be with the team. So
yeah, just be healthy at the end of the year, Minka. Keanu O'Neal, rib, he didn't practice Thursday. Montravius, he didn't practice Thursday. Cam was limited. Pat P was full participant Thursday, but I don't think they brought him off IR yet. I know he's in the 21-day window right now.
Yes, Freiermuth is in the window, Rob. From what I read at a couple of different Steeler-related sites, he looks like he is trending to being available on Sunday.
Yes.
So, obviously we welcome him back with open arms. We see the gap that was left with his absence. We're not real deep at that position, especially a pass catching tight end. And, we need him back. I think he would help Kenny out a lot.
Yeah.
Just like an Andrews-Lamar relationship. They're both kind of tied together. And so I think that might spur Kenny on a little bit, and maybe get him out of the shell just a little bit, having the Muth back.
Yeah. Browns injury report: wide receiver Marquise Goodwin, concussion, did not practice. A guy you like, tackle DeJuan Jones, knee, did not practice. Guard Wyatt Teller, ankle, didn't practice. And safety Juan Thornhill, calf, did not practice. Those some kind of key injuries for them, especially on the line. They gonna be kind of tore up in the line. So I look for TJ and them to be getting some pressure. And it's gonna be interesting when we get into the game here to see what they do with this new quarterback. Cause man, they throwing him to the wolves with their line banged up, and TJ and them, licking their chops at him.
Well, let me just say this: that I watched a lot of DTR in college. I watched a lot of Pac-12 games.
Yeah.
First of all, this guy is iron tough. I saw this guy take some big time hits and get back up and do it again. And
that's college.
Yeah, I know. I will. I'll agree with you. But still, he's a guy, Rob. He sells out in every way possible, not on just his play on the field, but his body. He would throw himself, into a pile if he thought it would get him an extra half yard. This is a guy that's not afraid of contact. This is a guy who, again, just does a great job of doing whatever he can, given the situation, to help his team out. I think he's got a somewhat bright future. Yes, it's extremely difficult to be put in a situation like this, but I think he will make some plays against the Steelers. Of course, the question is how big are they, and when during the game would he make them? But I could see him probably running the ball quite a bit when plays break down quickly. I could see him being that guy that can, again, has some elusiveness, can get out to the boundary and possibly make some plays with his legs.
Yeah, since we on that, let's go on, start on the game and go towards defense, because I think that's going to be key, the key to us winning. Last time we played them, didn't we have 2 defensive scores? I think so, something like that. I know Highsmith had a score. I want to say TJ had a score.
And if I'm not, is that the game, Rob, where Miles Killebrew? No, that was the Baltimore game.
I think TJ and Highsmith had a score that last game. So I don't think we're going to get 2 scores by defense this game, but
I wouldn't think so.
We could use 1.
Sure.
Now this cat DTR, it's gonna be interesting because I think they're gonna cover him up. They're not gonna pass the ball a lot without us getting the lead. If we get out over 2 scores, that's when we can predict that they're going to try to put him in harm's way. Otherwise, within 1 score, they're just going to run the ball a lot, man.
I agree. And I mean, that's right now, that's their strength. That's Cleveland's strength. I mean, they got good running backs. So I know that's what I would do. Like you said, the O-line, Rob, there's some question marks. You know, Conklin, who was their best lineman, he went on IR for the season several weeks ago. And then you got these other guys banged up. But, I mean, Rob, they were in that same situation last week against Baltimore. I don't think Daquan Jones played in that game. They were playing third stringers, and they still beat Baltimore. So, I'm just going to say that, it's an area of emphasis for guys like TJ and Highsmith. And certainly they've been kind of held, at least by my standards, they've been kind of held at bay the last week or so. I mean, they've made some plays for sure, but, we haven't seen that clinical, TJ Watt, either 3-sack game or like you said, tipping a ball and it get intercepted or him recovering a fumble, something like that. We need some splash plays from the defense, I think, in this game in order to win and, of course, take pressure off of our own offense.
Yeah, I see a lot of zone coverage.
I do too.
Just because, I don't think this guy can pick us apart.
You certainly hope so.
In the back. Yeah, keep your eyes in the backfield. Hopefully TJ and them get some pressure on him and he throws something up. But like I said, I don't think Stefanski is going to put him in too much trouble. I would. If the only kind of pass I would throw, their screen game is really good. I'll be doing a lot of screens, a lot of short stuff. I think Amari Cooper, with his route running, if he can get a little separation, that'll help him out. But as far as moving the ball up and down the field on us, I don't see it at all. And it bet not happen.
Go ahead and preface that, Rob, because since we are talking about our defense, I'm just going to tell you my absolute, whether Minka plays, doesn't play, my absolute number one concern, starting with this game through the rest of the season, is what are we going to do at inside linebacker? No matter who it is that plays, how are they going to be able to possibly compensate for the lack of coverage skills? We always talk about how the Steelers in general have difficulty, Rob, with tight ends.
Yeah.
And
even Njoku might have a big game. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is my absolute number one area of concern going up against any opposition's offense.
Yeah.
Is that middle of the field short zone area, within about 15 yards of the ball, 12 to 15 yards of the ball. That is, I got a lot of question marks there, and hopefully we get some answers towards that on Sunday. But I got all my fingers crossed to see how Tomlin can find a way to keep this in-house and get these guys coached up and put in positions that are probably uncomfortable for them because these guys don't really have a lot of experience.
Well, for this game, I think they're going to be in a lot of zone. So it ain't going to be like a lot of man matchups with backers on tight ends. I don't think.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a big game for Landon Roberts and your boy Robinson because they're going to run the ball a lot. And those guys should get a lot of burn this game, a lot.
Yeah. I think statistically, both of those guys could have some serious numbers when it's all said and done.
Yeah, they should be flying around because they should be happy because they're gonna get a lot of chance to get a lot of tackles.
Well, I tell you what, that'll definitely be a focus for me again when we sitting down watching this game. It's going to be their backers on our linebackers. This is going to be a game. Hopefully I'll get to say at the end of the game, Rob, or when we do the next show. Thank God Devin Bush was not out there. This is not a game you want Devin Bush on the field.
Right.
So
my top key to win this game, we got to stop the run.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Stop the run. I think we can win the game if you stop the run.
We shall see, my man. We shall see.
All right, let's move over to offense, Todd, man. Let me see. One thing I liked about last week, and nobody really talk about, they talk about we don't throw in the middle of the field. But
right.
The one time we did, we closed the game out. We should have closed the game out.
Understood.
And there was a penalty that I thought was kind of iffy. That was
He picked him. To me, it was pretty straightforward. Now, I'm not saying he intentionally did it, but he did it. He impeded that defender from making a play on the ball.
Again, if you look at it, I think the defender tried to run into him, and he did a fake fall, man. I think he tried to get the penalty because he knew he was behind. You know what I mean?
It's possible.
Even if he didn't hit him, I think he would have completed the pass. But, those things go like that.
You can't give the refs a chance to make that call.
No, you can't.
You just can't do that. So, but you are right, Rob. I mean, I've been harping on that. You have to. Ever since the season started, we belabored that point from last year.
Right.
It looked like to me, or to most of us, that Matt Canada thought that the in between the hash marks was like a contamination zone that hey, nobody can go inside these lines.
Right.
Just refused to go in that cushion, except Freiermuth occasionally or Connor Hayward, and that has continued this year. But again, the more I think about it in that article that I sent you about Tomlin and his control/influence on the offense, I think that, and I told you I agreed with that article that Jerry Dulac put out, that, man, Tomlin is just playing it as conservative and as close to the vest as he possibly can to keep Kenny from getting himself in trouble. I really believe that.
At some point, you're going to have to take off the reins.
Well, of course. And I think he knows that. He's just not ready to do it just yet.
Yeah. I don't know if they scared of Kenny throwing over the middle, because this year, for some reason, he hasn't looked good throwing over the middle. And, you make bad throws across the middle, that's interception alley right there.
Yes, sir.
Crossing routes, he's been missing on over across the middle. Just a lot of stuff over the middle he's been missing on. And I think, one, they may be kind of afraid of him making mistakes across the middle. That's one.
Yeah.
And then if nobody really makes us get out of this shell, I don't think Coach going to get out of the shell. We're going to play a coastal vest, see what happened in the fourth quarter.
I mean, I'm telling you, Rob, it's not like it hit me all of a sudden, but occasionally I've been prodded by several people in the media to get me really thinking, and like Dulac's article, and I was just like, yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, this is typical Steeler philosophy when it comes to offense, especially when you don't have, a Hall of Fame worthy quarterback or somebody that you would consider an elite talent.
Right.
This is what the Steelers do. They get really conservative, and they, they play ugly ball, and they're comfortable doing it, as the statistics have laid out. I think I mentioned on last week's show, the Steelers have the best record in one-score games since Tomlin took over in 2007. The Steelers are 19-6-1 in one-score games.
Yeah.
If I'm Mike Tomlin and somebody asks me that question, are you doing this intentionally? This is me. I can't be Mike Tomlin. I'd look at the guy and go, yeah, what's your point?
Yeah.
The statistics tell you the story.
Right.
If I don't do this, our chances of winning go down.
Yeah.
So, Tomlin's not here to be the leader of a circus and entertain people, at least, in his idea of what entertaining is. Yes, they want the fans to come out, see some good play, see some touchdowns. They're all for that. But deep down, all they really care about or are concerned about is winning the game.
Is the W, right?
Is the W. It may not look pretty. Fans may go home and go, yeah, I spent all that money and this is all I got.
Yeah.
But did your team win? And if that's the answer at the end of the day, that's entertainment. Watching your team win, that's their version of entertainment right now.
Well, the Steelers fans, hey, you might as well get used to it. These games, this is 1980-something football. And it's going to be that way the rest of the season, this season at least. You look at this game, whoever wins the rushing yardage, I think win the game. Najee and Jalen against Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Hey, what you got?
Yep.
Whoever win the running game, gonna win the game. That's my key.
Yep. No, that key is definitely a key, Rob. Again, we always say time of possession.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's a pretty good barometer. And then obviously third down conversions. To me, those three things almost go into every single game. If you can win those three pieces, you're going to win. I think there's actually somebody did a statistic I saw online. The team that runs for more yards has the higher time of possession and wins third down conversion, wins 82% of all games played.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, statistics in that case don't lie.
Unless you're the Steelers, baby.
Yeah.
We win any kind of way. Right?
Yeah.
Shoot, negative point differential, negative time of possession, it don't matter, man. It come down to the fourth quarter, baby.
They are definitely, Rob, this is the year of setting NFL records.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something I ain't never seen before, so.
It's unusual, man. We're definitely not used to seeing it like this. But hey, it's 2023. We got to deal with it.
Right. All right. Special teams. Punting is going to be a premium. We need Chunky P on his P's on his P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying?
And hey, Rob, all the guys on special teams, they all better be wearing the right cleat for this field.
Yeah.
I don't want to see all this slipping and sliding stuff like I can't remember if it was Boswell last week or the week before. He went to go do a kickoff and he fell down and slid right after he kicked the ball.
Right.
He fell and slid down. We can't have that. Another quick thing on special teams, Rob. I don't know if you remember our long snapper got hurt in that game.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of concern. Obviously, he's not on the injury report, so it must not be too bad. But it looked like he got popped pretty good on the side of his knee.
Right.
But I guess whatever they've done rehab wise has worked to make him still functional. But man, that's a key cog. You do not want your long snapper out for any period of time.
One good thing about long snapping, you can, as long as your arms and shoulders not hurt, the way they play now, they don't let you blast the long snapper after he snaps. So you can snap it and just stand there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as long as he can actually stand up, he'll be all right. Bars, Bars got to just keep being Bars. If you don't, points are going to be a premium, so we can't miss no field goals.
No.
You know what I mean?
Every opportunity we get to get 3, even though we like to get 7.
Right.
But if you tell me we're in the close to the red zone and we got to go for 3, I'll take the 3 anytime. I'm not going to turn down points on a drive. Yeah.
So everybody start enjoying these paint dry games because that's the way we play, baby. Steelers, until something changes, which I don't foresee this year.
No, I
We're
don't.
We're gonna be in 1980s football, close games, every game. It ain't gonna look pretty.
Nope.
But you still might get the dub. That's the only thing that matter, right?
What would be ironic, Robert? Maybe it's not really ironic, but we get through the season. You being hypothetical here, but can you imagine if the Steelers get to the end of the season and they're like 11-6, and all you're going to hear from everybody who's not Steeler related in the media is going to go on, and I would expect a guy like a Rex Ryan to say this. This is the worst 11-6 team I've ever seen.
Yeah,
so we'd get a lot. Would get a lot of that. So we'll see, man. We will see.
Yeah. We got a lot of rocks in Pittsburgh, so we can get in a rock fight and throw a lot of rocks, baby.
But hopefully it doesn't come down to that. But like you said, man, you don't apologize for winning.
No, and I said it before the season, and I still say it. I don't care how I look early in the season. Style points don't matter. I start worrying about that in the next couple of weeks. Because we playing some teams we should look good against. You know what I mean?
Should being the key word again. I'll try not to drone on too bad about, in the past the Steelers were good for that, at least that one loss against a team that you feel like you had no business losing against.
Yeah, we don't need those.
We need to turn that tide the other way.
Yeah, we don't need those. All right, let's move on, Todd. We're going to the game last night was a divisional game for us.
Yes, sir.
Bengals 20 at the Ravens 34. Ravens came out and put a slacking on them. Hurt Joe Burrow. Even if they had Joe Burrow, I think they was gonna go on to win that game because their offense looked stagnant. Yeah, the Bengals offense looked stagnant last night.
Well, I think all it shows, Robin, I think this would happen on any team. When you take a key offensive weapon off the field, like a T. Higgins, you think, the next man up, Tyler Boyd, that Trent Irwin kid. You think, okay, one of those guys is going to step up, and I mean, they can't be T. Higgins, but they can still, step up and make some plays. And Irwin did a pretty good job, but certainly once it was obvious, I mean, Burrow couldn't go any further. They dropped into a Tomlin-esque conservative shell, and just really were just trying to manage getting through the game. I think, and not taking on any more injuries. It looked like early on, Cincy might have a decent run game. Mixon, looked pretty good. He was getting some good touches. But again, they just when they needed a big play, when they had the ball, they just couldn't get it. And
I didn't realize T. Higgins would make that much a difference in their offense because Chase was shut down. He only got 2 catches for 12 yards. He had a touchdown in there, but for him, 2 catches for 12 yards, that's nothing. You see what I'm saying? That means they were double and tripling him the whole game. Them other guys got to step up, man. You getting single coverage. Are the Ravens that good?
Rob, obviously they were worked up, and they should have been, about that game.
When they lost to Houston.
Exactly, man. Well, no, Cincy is the one coming off the loss to Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, the Ravens were coming off losing that game to Cleveland.
Okay, I got them mixed up.
Yeah, so the thought of the Ravens losing back-to-back games at home, it's happened before, but it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah,
and I think that was all the motivation they needed. And obviously, man, those players, just like any player on any team, they hear the doubters out there, whether it's on social media, whether it's the sports pundits on these podcasts and TV shows. They hear, this guy's getting questioned, this guy's getting questioned. Are they the real deal? I mean, Baltimore's been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team this season. I mean, they look like world beaters in some games, and they look average at best in other games.
Yeah.
So, they're like, is the real Ravens team going to, stand up? I mean, they got the potential, Rob. They had the potential to go deep, I think. Do I think they will? No, I don't think that they will. But I do think that they've got the pieces to go deep in the playoffs. But
yeah.
I think when it's all said and done, they're not taking out Kansas City and Patty Mahomes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, T. Higgins, he's gonna be. I think he's up to get paid this season. So either it's gonna be interesting to see if they keep T. Higgins and pay him or let him go. Huh?
I don't think they can afford him, Rob.
No, they would have paid him last offseason, I think, if they could afford him.
Yeah. With Burrow's deal, and if I'm not
Chase
mistaken,
coming
I
up.
apologize. Did Chase get his bag yet?
I don't think so. He might be up this year. So
that's
they might.
What I was thinking. So yeah. No, I see T. Higgins getting squeezed out. Just the numbers game is not going to work out, and some team I think is going to get a hell of a receiver.
Well, the Bengals on their way down. Then that's why you got to win the Super Bowl when you get there.
I mean, yeah, I'd say that really about any team, but you're right. The formula, the formula nowadays is the young quarterback with the low salary, and then spending that money that you normally would spend on a high-end quarterback.
Yeah.
Give that money to your weapons.
Okay.
And that's what Cincy, I'm sure that's what their game plan was leading up to Joe Burrow getting his money. But now that we've gotten to that stage in the process, now you're going to have to sacrifice something. And it looks like it's going to be T. Higgins.
Give me a prediction on our score for the week.
Wow. This is a tough one, Rob. I do not mind telling you. I'm having a really difficult time. Well, even knowing that Deshaun's out, I'm having a difficult time. So I am going to go Steelers 23, Browns 20. 23-20.
Ooh, that close?
Steelers.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
What say you, Mr. Rob?
I think it's gonna be close, but I think we're gonna close the game out with at least by 2 scores.
Okay.
And we might be within 7 or 3 in the fourth quarter. Then I think we're gonna bang it out to 10.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna hit that magic number like 24, right? To like 13.
Okay, so you got Pittsburgh 24-13.
Yeah, 24-13.
All right.
I can't see Cleveland scoring over 14 points.
Now I tell you, it's one of those times I want to be wrong, Rob.
Yeah.
I would love to be wrong. I like the sound of your score. That's definitely sounds better. Hopefully that is the way it goes, and our defense makes the plays necessary till the offense gets warmed up.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I want to see, Rob. If I could pick one thing that I'd literally want to see every week from the Steelers, it would be the offense getting off to quick starts.
Yeah. Well, the last couple of weeks we've been there. So if we can do that, that'll go a long way this game. Long way.
I feel like that would be true, yes.
Yeah. All right, Todd, anything else before we get out of here?
Nope. Just hopefully no off the field surprises between now and Sunday.
Yeah. No strip clubs, Todd.
No strip clubs, no falling on banana peels.
Yeah.
None of that stuff.
Yeah. All right. I don't have nothing else. So without further ado, here we go, Steelers.
Here we go.
Hoot.